Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here. Public-private partnerships play a critical role in strengthening and extending the principle of shared responsibility to the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, Blueprint to Achieve an AIDS-Free Generation. The ultimate goal of each PPP is to allow more people to benefit due to additional resources, whether they're monetary or technical, that have been brought to the partnership by the private sector organization. Doing so can increase efficiency, increase effectiveness, and harness the comparative advantages of all partners. It can also be a tool to build capacity of local country partners. PEPFAR defines public-private partnerships as collaborative endeavors that combine resources from the public sector with resources from the private sector to accomplish HIV/AIDS prevention, care, and treatment goals. By leveraging private sector resources, PPPs enable the United States government and private sector entities to enhance their efforts. PPPs are characterized by jointly defined objectives, program design and implementation, and the sharing of resources, risks, and results. In many ways, a public-private partnership is like a marriage. The life cycle of a public-private partnership goes through many of the same phases as a marriage. There's the first date, the engagement, the prenuptial agreement, the wedding, the birth of a child, and parenthood. So for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to take off my senior public health advisor hat and assume the role of a marriage counselor, because I want to take you through what should be expected when you enter into a public-private partnership. Here's the first date. How many of you remember that first date? The first date is really the first opportunity that the two parties in a public-private partnership meet. Both partners are attempting to identify areas where there's a common interest and goal. This is the planning phase of the relationship. You establish well-defined objectives. You create a mutual accountability. You develop a clear understanding of what resources and capabilities that each of you bring to the task. And you have to have regular communication between both partners in order for this to work. At some point during this phase, you realize that this is a match made in heaven, and you have found your soulmate for life. Then you become officially engaged. Okay? But before a date can be set for the wedding, there are a number of issues that need to be addressed. And that's where this prenuptial agreement comes into place, or a memorandum of understanding. A union is considered a public-private partnership if U.S. government funds are matched at a minimum ratio of 1-to-1 with other resources. The key aspect of a public-private partnership is that a private sector partner must contribute resources. PPPs are activities where both parties invest new resources toward a common purpose. Now, once you have decided what you're going to do, you develop that prenuptial agreement or a memorandum of understanding which describes the partnership and the terms and conditions of that partnership. The MOU should define the roles and responsibilities of each partner. It should describe the problem. It should describe the contribution of each partner to addressing the problem. It should include a work plan and timeline, include a monitoring and evaluation plan with common indicators. It should also have a budget. It should specify the length of the agreement and address any special conditions like intellectual property or copyright issues. Now that the prenuptial agreement, and you can see there's a lot of things in that prenuptial agreement, or the MOU has been signed by all the parties, the wedding occurs. Now, this is where the real work for the partnership begins, as you can imagine. Those of you that are in a marriage, it's critical to develop a partnership culture. This involves common goals. It involves building trust. It involves cultivating key talent, aligning incentives that are complementary, and fostering collaboration. Now, this is another tough area in a marriage, managing the resources. Now, this is where the M word comes into play in a public-private partnership: mechanisms. Mechanisms are often the most time-consuming part of PPP formation. How do you support the public-private partnership and manage the resources? That's something that we all have to deal with, and as you know, managing those resources are a key reason why many partners get divorced. So, it would be ideal if you had a funding mechanism that would integrate the partnership into an existing implementing mechanism. But the world isn't perfect. And sometimes innovative partnerships just don't fit the mold of existing mechanisms. And then there's another thing that you can look at, which is an umbrella cooperative agreement, and we at CDC use these often. Now, once the mechanism has been sorted out, the partnership can begin. And it's a blessing. Most new partnerships, like births in a family, are accompanied by an announcement or press release. Now, this announcement identifies the partners to the partnership, the goals and objectives of the partnership, the length of the partnership, and the contributions to the partnership. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of some of the global partnerships in the next two slides. As you can see here, we have partnerships with MTV, Elma and, Nipai, Roche, Together for Girls, LabCorp, our Pink Ribbon, Red Ribbon, saving mothers and giving lives. And the program areas tend to vary. They go from prevention to health resources and health, to lab systems strengthening, to gender and cervical cancer screening. We also have Labs for Life, McCann, which is going to be dealing with voluntary medical male circumcision, and another global partnership with Siemens that is going to focus on lab system strengthening. Now, in addition to global partnerships, we have a number of partnerships that have been created at the country level. Okay. And these type of partnerships really incorporate the input and the contributions of host country governments. And it also provides an opportunity to strengthen private health sector associations and business coalitions, which are viable partners in the delivery of health services. Technical assistance support can make a lasting contribution to national, local, and district programs. Now, I got ahead of myself and moved quickly to parenthood, and that is because maintaining a relationship takes a lot of effort on the part of the partners, and there are challenges. PPPs are time and labor intensive. They require special skills. But a true partnership, just like a marriage, is based on a shared problem definition and joint design of solutions. It's built on the foundation of relationship building. And it's sometimes the USG agencies have to play at least a convening role in this space. Now, cash is good and important, but alliances can bring resources more valuable than money, and that is really the true value of a public-private partnership. In closing, I want to let you know that partnerships work, and partnerships are work. Now, this is my first convention, and I'm looking forward to my first date. Thank you again.